Okay, we're going to start something new. This is with Rav Shlomo Katz has asked me to begin a new shir to the huge Kehila of Shirat David, the growing Kehila. I don't care if one person sits and listens, two people. The good thing is you can record nowadays, so it will be online. Hopefully one day we'll have a minyan listening, or maybe even more. The main point is that Rav Shlomo wants a shir between Mincha Mariv, and he was giving me the permission, or he's asking me as a shlichus to give over that shir. I had the schus to learn by very special Rabbonim. One of them was Rav Avram Mordechai Isbi. He was a ger Rosh Kollel, and also a very special yid who went around all about Israel to all the different yeshivas. And Baruch Hashem, I saw him after an operation that was almost life or death, and he still came and gave his weekly Erev Shabbos shir. I've said this story over many times. He was actually my second son, Sandik. And he still gave the shir, even though he was passing out after a heavy operation. And he said he would give shir even if one yid was sitting there, and he'd come all the way from where he lived, which was not close. Anyone who knows Yerushalayim, to get from one side of Yerushalayim to the other can take almost the same time as coming from one side of Eretz Yisrael to the other. So Baruch Hashem, he would come all the way, Erev Shabbos, be most nefesh for a shir, no matter how many people were there. So therefore, it's important that what I'm going to do with this special session, I'm going to post it on my Relationship Flow podcast as a chiddush. It's going to be a new opportunity for people working on their relationships to hear a little bit of Torah and connect, just like connection is the main point of relationship, to connect more to Hashem, to connect more to the Torah, to the truth. That will strengthen Memela, the relationship. The Relationship Flow podcast has generally been a flow between my wife and I talking about our journey together, and Baruch Hashem, we've had somewhat of a following in that, and also me personally giving over as a husband, my side of it. One of the people here is familiar with it. He's seen the podcast, Baruch Hashem. But the point is, we want to try bring a little bit of the Torah that goes into the relationship that fits perfectly with Shulchan Aruch, fits perfectly with the Torah from Rabbeinu, from Rabbi Nachman ben Fega, Nachman ben Simcha, and his Talmud, Rav Nosson. We're going to learn Likutei Halachos. We'll learn some Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. Start off with the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. It's very important to ground anytime you're learning anything from Pnimis Torah to be able to see its correlation in halacha, in how Hashem is guiding us how to walk through this world. Halicha. The Daled Amishah Halacha, that's where the Shechina Shora, Hashem's divine presence, which we all daven and pray for, should be in our homes. We daven, this is, we're in the Chodesh of Elul, Ani ledodi v'dodi li, I am to my beloved is to me. This relationship is very deep between us and Hashem. It's a back and forth, the Yud and the K, and the Vav and the K. This constant mashpia, makabel, the one who's giving over, the receiving, the one who's giving over, the receiving. This is Ani ledodi v'dodi li, this is Elul. We're in a very intimate time now with Hashem Yisbarach, and by learning Torah, the Yena Shel Torah, the bringing the Shivim Panim, the 70 faces of Torah, which is Gematria Yain, we have an opportunity to become, bless you, to become a little bit shicher from the Pnimis of Torah, a little bit drunk in a good way. Bless you. The Shir Hashem talks about the concept that I heard from Tzaddikim and in Rosh Chodesh Elul from Simai Zilberberg, that we have to get a little bit like high from this time in a healthy way, like when you drink wine. Victor Miller actually said you should have a l'chaim a day. Also Rav Dessler says l'chaim is an Indian of getting yourself into a good state, opens you up a little bit. So the idea Torah should hopefully have that effect. And tuning into the halachas opens us up, one, how to live. And that's what Rav Shlomo asked me to give over, something that would actually impact people in real life. And I think one of the biggest struggles we're seeing nowadays is relationships. And being that relationships is the nimshul of the mashal of the whole purpose of creation, that Hashem gave us the concept of soulmates. And with that power we can become the first mitzvah from the Torah, Puruvu. We have the opportunity to build a nation and become Am Yisrael. This comes out from the relationship of soulmate and relationship between us and Hashem, and they're both very connected. And we're going to see from the Tzaddikim and from Shulchan Aruch how there's a bridge between the Pnimius and the Niglas Torah, between the revealed and the hidden, because ultimately the relationship is one. Starts off the Shulchan Aruch, Dinei Hashkamas Boker. This is Siman Aleph in the Shulchan Aruch of Orech Chaim, the way of life. Shvisi Hashem negdi tamid, says David HaMelech in Tehillim. Yeah, very, very good to know that this is part of the Tikkun Klali. Yeah, the Tikkun Klali that Rabbi Nachman brought down, the 10 Tehillim that fix up all of creation. This pasuk is from the first of those 10 Tehillim, those 10 Psalms. Being that, we're on our way to Rosh Hashanah, which is Rabbi Nachman's Yom Tov, it's appropriate that we begin halacha with the beginning of the Tikkun Klali. Shvisi Hashem lenegdi tamid. To have Hashem in front of us always. Hu klal godol b'Torah. This is the great rule in Torah. And we know that the high levels of tzaddikim is that they're going in the ways in front of Hashem. Like we have in this week's Parsha, Tamim Hashem Elakecha, you're going Tamimus with Hashem. Tamimus is one of the most important klalim in Bres of Torah, and it should be in all of Torah really, for every yid. Everyone should be Zocher Tamimus. That's what Moshe Weinberger says. Everything he's been learning, he said this a while back, but I think he still hold it. Everything he's been learning with Kehila and Chodesh is just to come to one level of Tamimus. A little simplicity. When you listen to some people out there speaking with all the voices going on online about Am Yisrael, and one of the best things I heard recently was from Yishai Fleischer about keeping things simple. That is the answer to most of the questions out there, with Tamimus. And that was a conversation he had with my good friend Nissan Black, who will actually be here as Hashem in Unity Brookings and combination with Shirat David. We're bringing him here not this Shabbos, but the Shabbos after for Shabbaton. No, not the Shabbos after. 2 Shabbos from this Shabbos. Parshas Ki Sava. So this is Shabbos Shoftim. Shabbos after is Ki Tzeitzei. Ki Sava, we're going to bring this in black. And he's another example of someone who's living with Tamimus and is walking in, as we're saying, with Hashem, in front of Hashem. These special neshamas have come to Am Yisrael in these generations. Kein yeshivas adam tinosav askav hu levado bebeiso. So we know with a person that when you're sitting in your house, you have to realize that you're not alone. It says the Lashon you're alone, but really you're always lifting Hashem. That's the whole point of the pasuk. Shvisi Hashem ne'di tamid. Hashem is with us constantly. This is a consistent dveikus, a reality, a mindset that we're in front of Hashem constantly. So even when he's in his house doing his things, and he seems to be alone in his house, that really what's happening is that he's in the presence of the great king. Who's the great king? We know, Hashem. I already told this week a story. I got a new keramika. It says on it, king. It's another reminder. You have to look for Hashgacha Pratis. Something broke, and the new thing we got says on it, king. So now you have to think a little bit more about the great king. Think a bit more about the Melech. This week's Parsha, Tasem Asalech Melech. Hashem, that we're asking us to make a Melech upon Am Yisrael. The real Melech is Hashem Yisbarach. The Melech, the boss of Adam, is just the shliach to represent that Malchus of Hashem. So that is Kashul Ifnei Melech Gadol, the great king. V'chein ein dibur rachav es piv v'yosa im anshe beiso v'kruav. His speech and expression is not when he is in the company of household and family members. Kamo v'yosa moshav HaMelech. When you're in the presence of the king, HaMelech, he asks, when you're in presence, mashkiach v'adei al kol tinosa v'dibur. Everything you're going to say or do or move is going to be monitored. That was the big Madrega, the Baal Shem Tov. Every Shabbos, Baal Shem Tov HaKodesh. Imagine this. We're talking about Shalom Bayis a little bit here, relationships. Imagine a Shabbos Tish where the father, the husband, is in this level where he realizes everything he does has enough kamina, has an effect on his family, has an effect in the spiritual worlds. So that kind of husband at the Shabbos table, what kind of husband that will be? The kindness, the caring, the precision of how he speaks, what he speaks, when he sings, everything is tuned in to the Kedusha of the Zman and has the holiness of the time. And the Baal Shem Tov would say that Shabbos is that you can't touch anything, do anything without thinking first, because you should do that generally in life, but Shabbos is even more important because it's the Lamites Malachas and there's all the halachas of Shabbos. This is how a Yid comes to levels, and to share that energy with the family without obviously giving them too much yira, but to give over the exactness. You're in front of Hashem. You're lifnei Hashem. You're in the presence of a king. So you're not just stumped doing whatever. Ki az mashgiach bevadei al kol tinus v'dibur. You should examine all his movements and speech. This is the Elul Torah. Elul is a great time for introspection to fix ourselves because we're in front of the King, Melech B'Sodeh. Shu b'tikunim karoi, so they should be properly refined. Certainly, kol shekain kasher yasima adam al libo, when a person will take to heart Ki Melech Godol HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the great King, the Holy One, blessed be He, Hashem Elo Kol Haaretz Kavodo, whose glory fills the whole world, and this is based on the pasuk in Yeshaya, the Novi. Omad Alav, V'roeh, V'masav, is standing over him and observing his actions, K'mo Shene'emar, and this is another pasuk from another Novi, Yirmiyah, Im Yisase Ish V'mistarim. If a person were to hide his concealment, Ani Lo Yireinu Nu'am Hashem, would I not see him, says Hashem, so says Hashem, Halo Es HaShamayim V'etza'ach, Ani Male. Indeed, I fill the entire heaven and earth. Yeah, and nothing can escape me. So nothing can escape Hashem. And obviously, we're not looking to like a surveillance culture kind of mindset of Big Brother or something, some government thing. We're talking about the Eibishter, Hashem Yisbarach, and He loves us. One of the important reminders is today's yacht site from Rav Kook, of Avram Yitzhak, and his father was Ben. I saw it today, Shlomo Zalman. I saw it on a picture of his kever. Rav Shlomo. Yeah, his father was Shlomo. So I thought it was Shimshon, but it was Shlomo. So his Zechus his Heliktich Neshama is in Garein, and he brought down Torah of Eretz Yisrael, the Kedusha of Eretz Yisrael, in the most profound way. But he was also a hemshech, a continuation of the Torahs of Rabbi Nachman, which is in the Gedalia Fencer just now. Which is actually just sent him a few messages. We were in discussion. But the concept is that we're continuing on the derech of Rabbeinu, Rabbi Nachman, through the Rav Kook, through the Torah of Eretz Yisrael. It's come alive here. This is in real time. I'm not going to get into all the personal ways I can explain it, but that's the reality. And one of the important things that Rav Kook was helping Am Yisrael come to was to realize how really this concept that there's nothing can escape me, but it's a Hashem Yisbarach of Ahava, it's a love. It's not Hashem Yisbarach of Yira, of control. That's what people misunderstand. That Rabbi Nachman said himself, I also would not have been believing the God that these people picked up in broken yeshivas or whatever the Hinnuch system they were in, where they were taught a fearful, vengeful God. He also wouldn't believe in such a God. The God that we believe in is loving us, is bringing us close, is filling the world so that we can connect to Him. We have a relationship. We're going to get into this more and more, this concept of relationship and connection. This is going to be the relationship flow that we're doing here. B'vadai miyad tagia alav. One will be immediately overtaken. Hayira v'achna v'pakad Hashem yisbach shemo. So the way the kids of Shulchan Aruch is heading more towards the derech of kav of yira, the path of pachad and yira, submissiveness to the Holy One, blessed be He. Yivo shemenu, and we'll be humbled and bashful before Him. We've just been learning about in the Torah and Torah Lamed Ches, the idea of healthy shame. Boshus bonim, Shabbos is Osius Boshus. The idea that there's a healthy shame. Am Yisrael wa bashanim. We have a healthy shame. So we lift now Hashem when we're in front of Hashem. And it helps us build a real relationship. A relationship that has respect, has potential to have kiyum, to last. Now we're just going to jump forward to the next halakha because I just want to get to a point here that everyone knows. And everyone does this. But we're going to add in a chiddush that's connecting into this relationship with Nekuda. Gam mishkava or mishkava. Also when he's lying in his bed, Yudar lifnei mihu shochev. But not only when you're in your house, also now when you're lying in your bed, whom he lies. When you wake up from your sleep, Yizkor chaste Hashem yisbarach shemo asher asa imo. He should recall the kindness that Hashem, may His name be blessed, has done for him. Chazed lo es nishmoso, returned his soul to him. Asher kito etz lo yayafa. Yeah, which He deposited. Remember, we return deposit our soul every night. We deposit it every night with Hashem Yisbarach. A little portion of our soul goes up, is fixed up for that day, and then He sends us down with a new chelik of our neshama till 120, till we've done our mission in this world. He returned him. Hopefully, if we sleep, what happened this morning, we got woken up by a siren. Not so geschmack, but we're going to see here that hopefully we're waking up refreshed, serene, so as to be able to perform and serve Him the entire day. For this is the man's whole duty. Where's that pasuk from Eicha? the Eicha, the time of mourning, of Eilis, and we're saying a pasuk of such renewal. We need this koyach of renewal more than ever, especially when there's time of Churban, where there's time, because Churban is the same otis as Chibur, which is connection again. It's concept. So where's the Churban? There needs to be a bigger level of Chibur. So comes this pasuk in Eicha, in the 9 days, on Tisha B'Av, and says, they are renewed in the mornings. How great is your faithfulness. Perish, b'chol boker nas adam b'riah chadasha. That each morning Hashem is creating us anew. V'yideh b'chol levav al Hashem yisbarach al zois, and he should thank Hashem. V'yada al mishkava yama. What should he say? Moda ani lefanecha, melech chai v'kayam. I greatly thank you, O living King, eternal King. Ratabi nishmasi v'chemla. For you have returned my soul to me with compassion. Rabba amunasecha. Abundance is your faithfulness. Now there's many explanations, but the point is Hashem's believing in you. You wake up in the morning believing. And this is where we're going to get to the Likutei Halachos. Very, very important. It's going to connect into Shalom Bayis and relationships. We'll end with this. He says just one. I'll just read the last bit of the halachos. We're going to forget it, but we're going to get to a very important point here. So your hands aren't clean, but you still say it then, even in the state with tumis yadayim, but your hands aren't clean. Yochelo mezos. He may recite this expression of gratitude. Kevin she'ein bo sham. Shame, as it does not involve you're not saying the name of Hashem. Yafsik ma'at. He should pause slightly. Bein tevis behem teva rabba. Okay, so even though your hands aren't clean, you can still say Moda'ani because there's no Shem Hashem, and we're thanking Hashem, and it's an important yesod because it doesn't matter what state you're in. The attitude of gratitude, the concept of being in a gracious mindset is the key for Shalom Bayis. It's the key for life. The attitude of gratitude, waking up with appreciation. Hashem's giving me another day. And this is where we get to the Likutei Halachos. He says it's so important to mo'ora the Nekudas Tovas, to wake up the good Nekudas, the good parts of ourselves. We're going to actually read it inside next time we learn. Hopefully the next session of Shlomo, I think it's going to be on Thursday, and then again maybe on Monday. We'll see how it goes. But we're going to have a few times a week. We're going to learn this kind of Torah. We're going back and forth between Katz and Shulchan Aruch and the Likutei Halachos, and a bit of like a parish as well. And I'll just end off with a story that my Rebbe, when we came to him the first time to really discuss the Shalom Bayis after being by some big Tzaddikim, Simai Zuba, big of their Hashem, but I needed to just get more hadracha in the inyan of Shalom, more guidance in Shalom Bayis and relationships. And he said, a beautiful concept. He said, when you wake up in the morning, it's changed my life, changed my marriage. The first thing you should do is thank Hashem, as we just learned. Moda'ani. He gave you a new neshama. Then you need to turn and look to your wife and thank Hashem for your soulmate. Thank Hashem for giving you this gift of your wife. And that's the key mindset to begin the day. Reishis Chochmas Yos Hashem. The first thoughts, the first ways of thinking, the first pronunciations are good, are positive. The Nekudas Tovas, as Rabbi Nosson says, is focusing on this beautiful soul that was given as a gift, as an Eza Kenegdo, to help us grow and become one and be a nimshur of a mashur, the mashur, the nimshur of oneness of us and Hashem. And to give us that chizuk, ani dodi v'dodi li, in a real-time way, to start off the day with that Elul relationship clarity, that my soulmate is a gift, and she has so much good, and I'm going to thank Hashem for it straight away. And then the whole marriage changes after that. Everything, that's what happened to me. Changes everything, because now you're appreciating this person already from the get-go, and that influences the day after day after day. Every day is starting off with the right mindset. You're thanking Hashem, of course, and you're thanking Hashem for your soulmate. And that improves everything. And that's a big key to, as we began the halach of Shvisi Hashem Negdi Tamid. It's not some theoretical, spiritual concepts. It's very real. You want to have Hashem in front of you all the time? Live with thanking Hashem. Live with thanking Hashem for the people in your life, your relationships. The more you build that, the more you thank Hashem for the relationships and the souls that were put into your dalaramas, into your home, the more the Shekhinah will be sure. And this is why the halachas brings the Shekhinah, because it gives you clarity of how to live, have the right mindset, and tune into the good that Hashem's doing for us. And that will outweigh all the other negativity and all the noise that goes on around and around. And the more we tune into this, Bez Hashem will be zocher to not only V'kayim the halacha b'shleimus, but also have a more, so we'll do the Torah in a complete way, but have more of a pneumius, more of an inner connection to our godliness in our family, and our godliness in Am Yisrael, the Nishmas Yisrael. And that is the key to really, to understand Torah truly. We have to be one with Torah, one with Hashem, and one with the Am Yisrael. And so it gives us a whole different life, a whole different level. That's the true derech of the Baal Shem Tov, and the Talmidim of the Baal Shem, and the Einich from the Baal Shem Tov, the Rabbi Nachman, Rabbi Nosson, all the tzaddikim that we're going to learn about, Bez Hashem, is bringing it alive with our family and our friends, to hopefully be all la'am Yisrael and all l'goyim, with Meila from that, and it will bring, please God, Mashiach Sekena b'mehei b'meina Amen.